Hi, this is Niko Ana, and I want to talk to you today about how meditation can help relieve stress, which is a very common reason why people want to learn to meditate or want to have a really sustainable meditation practice. Typically, they're going to want to use this as a way to relieve anxiety and tension and overall uneasiness in their life. Not everybody that wants to meditate is necessarily concerned with religious practices or even spiritual practices. They might just consider it to be like a wellness tool and something that they can use to help them feel healthier, which is fine because it really doesn't matter why you're doing it. To me, it's just that it's a practice that you're doing that's helpful, and I think that's what's important about it. So just to give you a really quick explanation about how meditation makes you feel less stressed overall, is that it can do this right away immediately, and it can do it over time if you're able to sustain the practice. And what happens is when you meditate, basically all you're doing is you are taking your attention and you're focusing it on something. So usually the way the mind works is it's just all over the place. If you just kind of let it, how you let your mind wander, literally it's all over the place. And it goes into all sorts of places and sometimes makes up stories about the past and the future. And that this can cause a lot of stress because these stories typically don't have a good narrative. If you're letting your brain just kind of run default, then that's what they call default mode network, which is typically the survival brain, the amygdala, which is always scanning for threats, always looking for the thing that could go wrong or the danger, which is important. We need this as human beings. It's still a part of our brain. It's been there for millions of years. That's why they call it the reptile brain. Unfortunately, it can take over and it can create all sorts of stress in our body because we don't realize that it's just constantly running. Our mind is constantly running scenarios and running possible threats, running it by us to say, okay, what would we do? Or this could happen, or this is definitely going to happen. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? And so when you meditate, you're basically like calming that default mode network. You're coming into the present and you're quieting your thoughts. Now, sometimes this can have the opposite effect if you're new to meditation. Sometimes the thoughts can seem worse, or they can seem more overwhelming at first. And it's really only just because you hadn't noticed them until now, but that does pass as you keep doing it. So essentially, it does something to your physiology when you quiet yourself and you go within and you get still. Going within just means like turning inward, means that you are paying attention to your inner world, as in you're listening to your thoughts, you're feeling your feelings in your body, instead of being so focused on what's happening externally, which is why it's helpful to close your eyes. And that you don't have to, but it is really helpful. So you withdraw your senses, you go within, and your brainwaves shift from what's called high beta, which is what's happening when you're stressed. It affects the functioning of your brain in such a way that it really blocks you from being able to problem solve, be creative and cooperative and feel expanded. And this makes you feel stressed. So it will allow your brain to shift into a more helpful state, which is either mid to low beta or even alpha. And you're able to access the parts of your brain that can help you feel better, help you, if you have a problem, help you work things out, or just help you feel more connected to others and feel more empathy and compassion and get a bigger view. Because it's always less stressful when you're able to see a bigger picture in life, rather than being really focused on a problem or a perceived problem that's happening right now. Because typically, with those types of things, you can't always do something right now to make something better or fix it, right? And that's when we get stressed. But if we're able to get spaciousness around things and we're able to expand and we're able to see bigger pictures, bigger overviews of our life, then we're able to feel calmer. We're able to be more patient. We're able to enjoy the moment, more often. And so this is how meditation relieves stress. And so this is something that you can do either like really quick, you can do it to relieve stress, and it typically will relieve your stress level pretty quickly. It doesn't have to take an hour. I mean, you can literally do this within like 3 minutes if you know how to do it correctly, which I can definitely teach you. And I do teach you guys in my other videos where I'm guiding you through the meditations and things like that. And then also keep in mind that just like anything, like when you're working out, you're trying to build big muscles, right? You can't just work out one time or two times and think you're gonna have these like really big muscles that you were imagining. Like some you see people in pictures with these huge muscles, right? You're like, where are my muscles? Well, you have to keep working out over time. You have to work out consistently. And some days you don't feel as good as others, right? Sometimes you can't work out as long. Sometimes maybe you don't feel like working out at all and you're tired and you don't work out, and that's okay. But let me tell you guys, the most important thing you can do is to just keep showing up for yourself and stop beating yourself up for skipping the meditation or not going as long as you thought you should. So if you skip a meditation, if you make a promise to yourself, I'm going to meditate every day, and then you skip one, then don't create more stress for yourself by beating yourself up for skipping. Just show up the next day and do it. And just do that every day. Show up for yourself. So you guys, I'm going to go now, and I really hope that you enjoyed this video. And if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please do so and hit the bell for notifications, and you can actually get notified when I upload new videos, which I do often. Thanks, everyone. Bye. Namaste.